Hello and welcome to The Box on Screen. My name's Chloe, I'm the Engagement Programmes Manager here at The Box, and I'm joined today by...
I'm Adam, I'm the Senior Engagement and Learning Officer here at The Box.
So what is The Box? Well, The Box is Plymouth's newest museum, gallery and archive. If you haven't yet had a chance to visit, then please do so. We can promise that you won't be disappointed. And for those of you who've watched our episodes of The Box on Screen before, you'll know that today we're going to be delving deep into our moving image collection.
It's time to do some stretches, warm up those muscles for 30 minutes of strenuous physical activity, because today's topic is sport. We've been through 250,000 films, tapes and reels, which if played from start to finish would be 10,000 hours, more of a marathon than a sprint. So what should we have a look at first, Chloe?
Well, I thought we should start with something a little bit more unusual to begin with. This is a sport that some people have tried. Some people have tried and failed and fallen off. And if you're familiar to Plymouth, you've no doubt encountered people having a go at this in the city centre too. So today we're going back to 1977 to see some skateboarding.
And lad, you're on private property here. Do you get into trouble for using this place?
Yeah.
Why do you come back here then?
There's nowhere else to go.
Yeah.
Best place round,
Yeah.
What happens when you get into trouble? Do people come out and shout at you?
Yeah, they just tell us to move away.
Sometimes cops come down, but...
A couple of times the police have been down and they just said, well, if we get any complaints, we'll have to move you along, but otherwise, it's all right. It's only that chap there, he's told us to go away. He's the only one who usually complains.
If there was a special arena set aside for you, would you go along and use your boards there?
Yeah.
It's got to be cheap though.
Yeah, it's got to be cheap.
Otherwise no one will go there.
Nobody go there, really.
Did you find it expensive to buy your equipment?
Yeah.
Very expensive. Yeah.
For instance, what did all this lot cost? Your headgear and your gloves?
It comes to around about £80 altogether.
£80? And what did your mother think of putting out that much money for you?
Well, it's my money. I saved it up.
Now, manufacturer's image has become very sullied by claims of profiteering and that sort of thing. What advice would you give then to a mother who's been pestered out of her life to buy a skateboard? Buy a cheap one or what?
No, definitely come to a shop similar to ours or another retailer that knows something about skateboards and not necessarily buy the first thing she sees in the shop. It may only be £12, £14, but she could be buying a lot of rubbish.
Well, wasn't that great? Brilliant to see young people out enjoying themselves and actually the parallels with young people today and that sense of doing something that's a little bit risky, a bit of adrenaline. And I can't think of anything more risky really than being on wheels.
Exactly. I mean, skateboarding is one of those things that I think a lot of younger people love, don't they? And you're never too old to pick up a deck and drop in. I don't know what I'm talking about in this sense. I'm not a skateboarder. But did you check out the tracksuits? And the trainers, they're amazing. By the way, if you know the brand of those trainers by any chance, I would love a pair. So please do let me know in the comments. But we're going to look to the future now. So that was an amazing bit of archive footage. We're going to go 5 years into the future, and we're going to head to Roll Arena at Coxside. Let's have a look.
Well, it's very popular. It always has been popular. There's been a little boom after the skateboards, but you know, I've been in the business since 1966, and it's always been popular. You know.
So you're not worried that it'll go the way of the skateboards and be a sort of flash in the pan?
No. A lot of people think this, but I'm also vice president of the National Roller Hockey Association, which, believe it or not, has just celebrated its centenary.
Really?
Yes, yes.
So you've got all ages here, really, haven't you?
Oh yes, mums, dads, children. You know, the children sort of have a good time on the rink. Sometimes the parents join in, and of course some of the parents come back on our over 21s nights, you know, and let the hair down a bit.
Is it a bit dangerous at first? I mean, can you injure yourself if you're not careful?
Well, I think any sort of wheeled sport can be dangerous. It's just the matter. It's just the way one goes about it. You know, you don't sort of run before you can walk, or you don't sort of charge into the middle of a rink until you know you've got your balance correctly.
How long does it take to get a fairly proficient standard?
Well, we find that if they haven't been on skates before, by the end of even one session, they're sort of letting go of the barrier rails and going around rather gently around the edge of the rink, you know. Is
it an expensive hobby for those who come along? Because presumably you've got the outlay of buying the skates and things like that.
Yes, there's considerable outlay, but we pride ourselves on being inexpensive. You know, our most expensive night is 60 pence to come in, and they skate sort of from 7 p.m. until 11. That's 4 hours skating on a Saturday evening.
Does that include the skates?
No, 20 pence for skates on top of that.
So it's fairly cheap, isn't it?
Oh yes, yes. And of course during the school holidays the children are coming for 30 pence per visit, you know.
Okay, Alan, well thanks very much indeed. It looks as if everybody's certainly enjoying themselves here today.
Oh, they are, yes. You come and join over 21's night on a Monday and Friday, and you'll find that it's very easy, and you're skating with people your own age, you know.
I'm not old enough.
So I don't think I ever went to Roll Arena, but I did go to Fiesta, which was a nightclub on Mayflower Street, which had an upstairs rink. I used to fall over an awful lot. One thing that is less well known about Plymouth, though, is in the late 19th century, it was like a centre for roller skating. So they had huge American stars would come over, and there was an amazing rink down on Union Street called the Monster Rink.
Amazing. Well, still staying with sport, but moving away from sports on wheels, we're going to take a look at another fantastic piece from our collection. This is the 7 o'clock regulars, showing you the utter joys of sea swimming in Plymouth, something that we know continues to this day. Wasn't it wonderful to see Plymouth Pier in that film and to see that people are still to this day going down to the Hoe and enjoying the joys and the benefits of wild and sea swimming today? What some of our viewers may not know is that footage was captured by a gentleman called Claude Endicott. And Claude was a butcher in Plymouth, and we've got lots of content from him from the 1920s right through to about the 1960s. And he really did have a love of all things modern. And I love the fact that we see the divers reverse speed special effects popping back out of the water. It's a really lovely play on those early special effects there.
Absolutely. And 7 o'clock regulars is far too early for me. And I have to say, sea swimming is not my thing, but I know that Plymouth has produced some amazing swimming and diving stars. Sharon Davies, Tom Daly, Tonya Crouch, and even a chap less well known called John Rudd, who is now the National Performance Director for Swimming and Diving in Ireland. And he was based in Plymouth for a long time. He's also my PE teacher for a little while.
That's quite an impressive list, isn't it? So sticking with the sea, let's take a look at another local activity that we all know and love, surfing, and this time going straight to Perranporth in 1969 with some really interesting ideas on how you could even make your own surfboard.
Wow.
So let's take a look.
The incredible Edward Boyle, do-it-yourselfer extraordinary, is now going to show us how to make these very simple but effective, as you've seen, surfboards. They're really so simple that all you really need is a knife and fork. Tedward, how do you go about it? How do you start?
You need a piece of marine plywood, Andy, 1/4 of an inch or 5/16 in thickness, 4 foot by 1 foot.
Now you say marine plywood, is that pretty important?
Yes, as the adhesive withstands seawater penetration, you see.
So if you don't use marine, you could find yourself sitting on a wood sandwich.
Quite. Now, you cut your board to shape by drawing out this shape using a bucket as a template.
Yeah.
And then, to get the curve, soak the board in really hot, preferably boiling water, for as long as you can.
But the water doesn't have to stay boiling all the
No,
time.
no. So long as you can just warm up the adhesive so you can bend it, you see. If you have a vise, stick the end of your board into a vise with a piping underneath for a template, bend the board down, tie it into shape, and let it dry off for a few hours.
And you really do get quite
you
a
get
sort of exaggerated ski
like
effect.
That's it, exactly.
Now, do you have to dress the wood in any way to make it stay in that shape?
Well, I think that it's always advisable to paint it, and I've painted these boards in fluorescent orange so that they can be seen should you get into any difficulties at all out there on the water.
They can pick you up.
Yes.
Any particular kind of paint that should be used?
Well, I would suggest marine paint if you want hard wear, you see.
Now, to go on to another tack, Ted, I noticed that the board you've got hasn't got such an exaggerated curl.
Oh, that's it, Andy. Well, if you haven't got any vice or any tools at all...
You haven't got any vices, didn't you? Yeah, go on.
Or any tools at all.
Yeah.
You merely soak the board again, place the end into, say, an old shed door, between the jamb and the door, close the door almost shut so as you get this curve, tie it down and let it dry off, and there you are. That's it.
And how much do you reckon, Ted?
12 bob each, Andy.
Well, Ted, that really... I just don't know how we managed before you came along.
There we are,
Thank you. The greatest thing since sliced bread. Thank you, Ted. Well, now, if you're really interested in knowing the specifics of how to make a surfboard, drop us a line to Westwood Diary Surfboards, and we'll send you a piece of paper giving you all the details. But don't forget the self-addressed envelope. OK, Ted, let's go and demonstrate, shall we?
Certainly.
I love that. DIY surfboards. I think I'll pop out to the shed and make myself one in a minute.
Yeah, me too. I'd love one of those. Really, really great example of kind of people's ingenuity and how people really try and find the fun in all sorts of sports. So it's a really, really lovely clip, that one. But going on to a different sport now, we're off to Torquay from 1975, and the preparations and the differences between the UK and the USA women's tennis team for the Reitman Cup. Let's take a look.
Yes, well, we can We can certainly try. The girls have worked very hard since we've been down here in Turkey. They're all playing, as far as I can see, very well. We know what we've got to do. We know that we're playing a group of girls from America who have had a lot of experience. We've run through their weaknesses, and I think we've prepared ourselves well. We'll go out there and try to win. We can't do any worse than we have done in previous years. So, I think they're obviously very confident, and we are, and at least we're on home ground, and the girls who we have played here a lot, and I think that will be the point that matters in the end.
We're confident we can.
Have you yet decided who your number one is going to be?
No, we have not. We've discussed it, but it's still at that point.
And who, at this stage, before the tournament even starts, do you see as the danger in the British team?
We'd have to lean towards Sue Barker as far as our top competition from the British team. She's very tough, to say the least.
Well, I've just finished a tour of the States and I saw a completely different scene over there. I don't think that the actual players are soft, because a lot of them travel a lot now and don't play a lot in Britain, but I'm 19 now and I saw a lot of difference between myself and the 19-year-olds in the States.
Great to see the legend that is Sue Barker there on film. It's a really, really, really special piece of film to capture her very early days playing. But very interesting, the differences between the UK and the USA teams and their preparations ahead of the match.
Absolutely. That's just chalk and cheese, isn't it? I think it's fair to say. Yeah.
Very much so. Yeah. But the UK did win in 1974 and 1975, so we must have been doing something right.
Absolutely. And doing something right, we cannot do an episode on sport without talking about the legendary, the greatest football team from the Southwest, Plymouth Argyle, the Green Army. We are incredibly lucky in the box. We've got lots and lots of objects. We've got programmes, photographs, film, all kinds of things. And in particular, one very special object, a scarf from the 1984-1985 promotion season, donated by me. Classic. Probably the most important object in the whole collection, I'd say. And we were also incredibly lucky last year to uncover some photographs of the legend that is Jack Leslie, who should have been the first black player to play for England whilst playing for Argyle. And obviously that didn't happen. So we're incredibly proud of the fact that we have these images of Jack in the collection. I wanted to pick some clips of Argyle beating Exeter City, but just to keep the peace, we've gone for one against Cardiff City. Shall we have a look?
Let's take a look.
Collins with the corner. This is Harrison. Tries a shot. 1-0. What a great goal. Tremendous shot from Harrison and a deflection. 1-0. 6.5 minutes gone. Mariner, Hall must be. It's a penalty. Hall pulled down. Penalty 3 minutes into the second half. So Brian Hall, number 7, with his first penalty chance for Argyle. 2-1. Willie Anderson, not a bad ball to say as the cross comes into the middle. Remember, and that's the goal. The goal scored by Evans. Barron couldn't quite knock it around the corner, and that's 1-1. 10 minutes gone. That's 2-2. The goal scored by Dwyer from a free kick, and that's 8 minutes gone in the second half. 2-2. Ryan Hall, the cross comes in right-footed. Mariner's head was there, but over the top. Getting wet. John Dell to Mariner. 20 minutes to go in this game. Mariner gets round the back, comes inside. Randall back in support, but he doesn't need him. He gives it to Dell. Dell takes it away from Harrison, puts another ball on. Harrison, great save by Owen. Harrison's having a tremendous game.
Some great footage there, Chloe. And the eagle-eyed amongst our viewers may have spotted Bobby Robson, the future England manager, at Home Park, there to watch Paul Mariner, who would later sign for Ipswich and who would also later play for England. And sadly, we've just learnt the sad news that Paul Mariner unfortunately passed away very recently. So I think that footage shows him at his best, and you get the real sense of why he played for England to such a high level.
Mm-hmm. And why he's so loved by Green Army fans across the region as well.
Absolutely. He's a true Argyle legend and will be sadly missed.
Yeah, very much so. Well, sticking with football, I have dived deep into the collection, and there was one clip that I couldn't possibly resist not showing.
Are we going that deep?
That deep. That
Wow.
deep into the collection. And this is, and I can't really believe I'm saying this, but it's a footballing tortoise from 1966. I daren't ask, would you like to take a look?
No, it sounds rubbish. Of course I want to look at that. Yeah.
Let's check it out.
Well, you don't see that every day. In the spirit of 1966, some people are on the pitch, they think it's all over. It is now.
Oh, very good. Well, that really is all that we've got time for today. So if you've enjoyed watching The Box on Screen, please do subscribe to our YouTube channel or check out our social media accounts on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram for lots more content from The Box. And if you've enjoyed delving deep into our moving image collection, check out the BFI player too, where there's lots more films for you to enjoy. Thanks so much for watching today's episode, and we look forward to seeing you again to The Box on Screen soon.